The Angle Slam.
Podcast. I had to do that carefully because there's Lego about.
I have Lego.
He has Lego. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I nearly said, how's it going again?
I was literally about to say, we're back to we're in 2022. I was like, no, but we did.
We did day one.
We did day one, technically. So yeah, no,
but it
we're
does
not.
feel like a while ago, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I suppose. Well, we are in February now officially, so this is how late the review is.
Yeah, we apologise for this being late. We've just had stuff going on.
We've got things going
We're
on.
busy. We have lives.
Yes, and to be honest, I'm guessing if you're wrestling fans, you'll be listening to this, and if you're wrestling fans, you already know what went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here to dissect, as we usually do. We dissect and review. So I don't think there's any deaths in the wrestling world. The only one that I can think of where he definitely made at least one appearance on Raw was Meatloaf.
Yes, unfortunately, Meatloaf's passed away.
It was about
72?
a week. Yeah, it was about a week ago now, I think.
A week or two ago, yeah.
But yeah, he's. I don't know what it was of.
I found it was COVID.
Oh, was it?
COVID that killed him. Apparently, he wasn't vaccinated.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what the details of that are, whether he chose not to do it or whether... I know he's had a lot of medical problems over the last few years and heart-related stuff. So it could be a medical thing where it's not worth the risk in taking it.
Maybe.
But it ended up being to the detriment because it was COVID that killed him.
he wasn't a young fellow anymore anyway.
He was 72, but...
So it wasn't exactly like a shock, but it was still one of those like, oh really? No,
it still
okay.
sucks.
Yeah,
it's still a big deal in the rock and roll world.
Yeah, of course it is. And so he's made an appearance for WWE a couple of times. But so yeah, we'll dedicate to him. You want to do your thing?
Like, share, subscribe. Find us on all the socials. Find us on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Castbox, and a plethora of others.
You'll find us.
Yeah, except for Spotify.
Okay, yeah, don't look at
because once again, I keep meaning to sort Spotify out, but I just suddenly out of nowhere, I didn't.
Fair enough. Hell of a story, though.
Compelling and rich.
But yeah, there you go. So share us with your friends, Facebook, whatever, and we'll kick off.
Was there a pre-show? Because they didn't show anything.
No.
Because they only show a highlight of this is what happened on the pre-show. But that didn't happen. Did we not have one?
No, we were researching as much as we could to see what was going on. But all I could get was it was like a special edition of The Bump, that network special they do, where they had like Steve-O on and stuff. But there was rumours. The first rumour was Shinsuke would defend his title against Sammy because Sammy's due a shot still. Mm-hmm. But they were like, well, they're both in the Rumble, so that ain't going to happen, or not likely. And then the big rumour was the Viking Raiders challenging the USS for the SmackDown tag titles, which would have made sense because neither of them were on the show.
No.
And yet, as far as I know, all it was in the pre-show was a build-up package kind of thing.
That's one thing I will say as well, considering the fact that they fired so many people and they didn't bring back any legends bar one, and they didn't bring up any NXT guys in the Rumble either.
It was a weird Rumble.
I was surprised at the amount of people they didn't use.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
There was quite a few people that could have been in that Rumble and they weren't.
I mean, it's kind of...
Balor wasn't in there.
No.
Cesaro wasn't in there.
No, I noticed that. Ali, for obvious reasons, wasn't in there.
No.
Apparently they offered it him, and he said no.
Yeah, he said, no, I don't want it. I want you to release me. Yeah. Because I asked for my release 3 weeks ago. Apparently Vince has denied it.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
For what reason? It's like he doesn't want to be here.
And then the Jeff Hardy news is that Laurinaitis rang him up, saying, do you want to come back and have a Hall of Fame spot? And he goes, no. He goes, why? He goes, tell me the results of my test. And he goes, they were negative. He's like, yeah. I know they were negative, and you released me anyway. Which I understand with what Jeff's been through, why they have to be adamant of the test, but you get the results before you...
get the results before you fucking jump at it.
Unless, if it turns out Jeff was like, you know what, I'm out of here. I can see both sides of it. I can see why he's there like, I didn't do anything. This is bullshit, I'm out. But on the other side, it's like, Jeff, you've done this so many times before, they need to be thorough with you. Yeah. So,
but don't release him. Maybe suspend him until you get the result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't just get rid.
Yeah, and then there's also the temptation of AEW and rejoining with his brother, so which is more than likely in the pipeline now.
I think so.
So that's it. It's one of those things where WWE is a toxic environment in the minute.
It really is.
So there'll be some legends that will just go, nope, and those that are released will be like, are you taking the piss?
I mean, there's another toxic storyline going on, but we'll get to it when we get to the men's Rumble.
So, there was no pre-show. So, Royal Rumble 2022
kicked off with Reigns Rollins.
That surprised me.
That surprised me as well.
But surprising more, which will make sense in a minute, was, okay, they're kicking off with this. And it made sense for a couple of reasons. For storyline purposes, that happened later in the night. And it was like, so the Universal Champion is coming out first.
He's on the first.
As well as kicking off. So I was like, what's going on here?
Then it became apparent.
Which was one of the coolest moments of the night.
It was one of the best things of the night, because I was a little bit weirded out. I was like, well, why is Reigns coming out first?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Then Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta. I was like, oh, Seth, you fucking genius!
Absolutely.
Came out in the gear, went down the fucking thing with the fans. It was brilliant.
I guarantee there was at least 25% of the fans thinking, is Ambrose here for one night only to join that? No.
Did you hear as well, Pat McAfee said Mox.
Oh, did he?
He said Mox at one point when they were talking about the Shield. I was like, oops.
That's fine. Well, Seth's dropped the name a couple of times, so it's one of them. But so he comes out with. To be fair, Roman sold it brilliantly. The fact that he's there, head down, like trying to slide himself up. As soon as he hears it, he just like, "Are you shitting
Considering
me?"
there wasn't much of a build going into this, it was only like a 3-week build. It wasn't too much.
They
played on their history a lot, and they also did a really good job of realising that Seth was able to get into his head.
Yeah.
He was the only one that has gone against Reigns since he's had that title that has rattled his brain a bit.
It was almost a get-out-of-jail-free card, because I know with what happened with Roman at day one with the COVID thing, kind of rattled the storyline a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, well, what do we do with Roman now? Because he's literally has tore through the SmackDown roster. Now, I'm not against seeing other people that he's already fought go for it again, like the likes of Cesaro and people like that. But it was almost like, right, I know Seth's on Raw, let's pull him over. It's Royal Rumble worthy, and like I say, it's only 3 weeks, but the story writes itself.
It did really well. They can pull on quite a lot of history. So, but having said that, the match itself was incredible.
It was really good.
I thought it was a really, really good opener. I think they had loads of spots. They played on this storyline. Seth was just constantly, like the Joker, constantly just laughing in his face. He was even putting the fist bump out at some point. He was taunting him. And I loved it that he was rattling him so much. And to the point where you think to yourself, would they do this? Like,
he would never do the fist bump.
No, but I think would he take the title from him? Like, would he rattle him enough to have him slip up? Because obviously we're thinking, well, they've got to get to Brock and Reigns somehow. This could be one of the ways they do it.
This is the silver lining of how, especially around WrestleMania season, and when leaked rumours or leaked stuff of this is what they're planning at Mania, it does get your mind thinking of. Because one of the rumours was originally Seth versus AJ at WrestleMania, potentially for the championship. So there's one thing there, well, are they going to put the belt on Seth, and then AJ wins the Rumble? It goes from there. And like you say, if Roman lost, would that lead to him going against Brock Lesnar? So all these questions go around in your head. I did partially think that Seth might win, but I had to go with my gut instinct of Roman's walking into Mania as champion.
I didn't really hesitate much when it came to predicting. I was like, well, it's going to be Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, we were wrong. Technically wrong.
Technically we were wrong. Yes. Well, let's get to that end bit. A lot of people didn't like this.
I'm indifferent more than
I actually did like it.
I'm more on the side of liking it, but I understand their point.
Yeah, so basically he had him in the chokehold. Rollins got his hand on the rope, although it looked like Little Nate put his hand on the rope, but it was an accident. He was meant to hold up, and it just fell onto it. So it is what it is. So he refused to let go of the hold, and he got counted out. So technically Reigns lost, but he retained his title. Yeah. So that's the first time he's lost since he's had that title.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't DQ before.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the fact that it was a DQ finish, considering how good the match was. But for me, I thought, well, I don't like DQ finishes, especially on pay-per-views. However, there is a very rare time where they do make sense and it works into the story. And for what they were telling, it made sense.
Of course.
Because Seth was rattling him, and basically he rattled him so much, he was just like, no. And he was shouting and screaming, he deserves this. This is what he wanted. He deserves this. He deserves this. He refused to let him go. So that DQ for me made sense. I didn't mind it so much. Lost a fucking point in the
oh, we all did.
We all did. Yeah, we all went for Reigns. Naturally, but Yeah, I got it.
I mean, it annoys me sometimes where, like, a couple of times in pay-per-views past where we've done the predictions, I've gone, ooh, what if it's a DQ thing? And sometimes I go with it, I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. So it annoys me when I'm like, shit, why didn't I think? It doesn't even cross my mind.
I don't think of DQs when I'm thinking of predictions.
Because you don't want it to happen.
Exactly, because in my brain I'm like, well, it's a pay-per-view, it shouldn't fucking happen.
But, I mean, there's multiple reasons why that worked. I mean, as far as the match goes, yes, potentially match of the night.
Great. I agree. I would claim it as match of the night.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Could have gone on a little bit longer.
Maybe.
I know they had a lot to pack in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that happened. And then the way it ended, it was perfect for their story. Because it's like, it is that whole, can Roman not overcome this one obstacle? And, like I said, it was kind of a quickly thrown together thing, because it's like, we don't know what we'll do with Roman at the Rumble. So, when Roman finally beats Seth, you know, you can continue that story. You don't want it as a throwaway thing. Mm-hmm. So, it's a way to continue the story of Seth technically won, Roman's anger, it gets him more heat going into WrestleMania.
It also shows that because he's a little bit rattled, that means if he's a little bit unstable, him going into Mania with whoever he ends up facing, well, we're pretty sure we know who he's going to face, but whoever it is he faces, there's this like, right, he's been rattled here. Has he been able to get himself back to neutral from this point? Or is this the cracks in the armour?
This is what I was about to say with the cracks. It's like, with the stipulation of the Usos weren't allowed ringside, and the fact that at this point he wasn't with Heyman, spoiler alert coming later, it's like, okay, there is the cracks of like, almost that self-doubt of like, not only can I overcome Seth, but can I not do it with my cousins and Paul Heyman at my side?
Yeah. So
he snaps and he's like, I'm going to have to take the cheap way out. But almost the smug heel way out of like, he didn't beat me, I just beat him so bad, I don't know, you cheated. Simple as that. So,
but he also
the chairs.
He also beat him up with the chair afterwards as well. So it kind of shows that although they're pushing forwards with something else for Reigns going towards the Mania, I think they will revisit this at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I know Seth is back on Raw. We'll get back into that later. What happened on Raw? I'm guessing you know.
Yeah,
but one of the bits I liked was the full circle thing with the chair.
Yeah,
which in one way it was kind of like, okay, Roman has established himself as the 100% heel in this match's story, but on the other end, what goes around comes around. So it's not like Seth didn't have that coming for what he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, because I'm still kind of, I don't even know if they know, like, is Seth a face now? Is he a heel?
I think they're slowly...
Is he neutral?
I think that slowly but surely they're going to push him to face again. I think they'll do the same with maybe Owens if they decide to tag team him.
Yeah.
Or they'll have him stay as a heel. But yeah, I think Seth will eventually go face.
Seth seems got a good pop on Raw, and they seem to be teasing something between Seth and Kevin, but it seems to be more a rivalry than a team up. But you never know. Yeah, But yeah, so Roman Reigns technically loses the match by disqualification, but is still the Universal Champion.
Great match.
Yes. Think next up was the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yes, it was the Women's Royal Rumble. This was good. I thought it was a good, solid Women's Royal Rumble. I'm not necessarily saying it was the best, but it was consistent. It was well paced. They had some nice, fun cameos of a couple of people here and there. They had a couple of storylines that were not paid off, but expanded on a little bit more. However, they probably could have done a bit more here and there.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent Rumble. It was a little bit obvious who was going to be the winner. However, I was a little bit...
Once she came out, yes.
Yeah, it was like, as soon as she came out.
Yeah, so it was very late on in the match.
But at some point I was thinking maybe Paige will arrive, because she's apparently been cleared. Bailey, I thought maybe arrive. So I'd say that was like my disappointment, is that I wanted those two back and they didn't come back. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. The Paige thing is it's rumours that she's been cleared. Bailey, it was kind of wishful thinking, but then she put up something on her Instagram of her watching it from home, not giving a shit. Yeah. But I don't know what it was about the Women's Rumble, because apart from the entries and the surprises and stuff, and maybe the whole Nikki Ash Rhea Ripley thing.
Yeah, that was a story that was continued, which
I can't really remember many spots or moments in the match.
I liked Nikki attacking Molly Holly.
But yeah, that
was great.
That seems to be the only thing really going on. And as far as like the wrestling, I mean, like I
I'm
say,
surprised Asuka didn't come back as well. Actually.
Yeah, again, I don't know what they're saving there for. Maybe another surprise thing down the pipeline. I don't know. But, I mean, when it opened, it's like, okay, opening with Sasha, cool. Melina, I didn't see that coming at all.
She didn't last long, though.
No, but apparently she has had this, like, really bad lingering knee injury, which pretty much cost her career. So I don't think she could have done much anyway. So that I think out of all the women's rumbles I've seen, I would probably put it at the bottom of, like, if I was ranking them.
So I don't know where to rank them really, but I still thought it was.
But out of the two rumble matches that night, I probably preferred it to the men's.
Oh yeah, which we'll fucking get to.
Because there was everything the Royal Rumble should be, with team up here and there, surprises, legends. The only thing they struggle with the legends is like, they're never anyone new. It's always the same ones.
Yeah, there's only so many you can do. I mean, I like seeing Lita. I'm glad she's...
That was the cock-up from the start. They announced most of them before.
Yeah, and again, that's something you should never do. Yeah. Both sides of the Rumble. Like, I just don't get why you do that. It's like, I don't want to know. Like, I wouldn't mind people that are on the main roster, 5 people saying they're going to go into the Rumble.
Yeah, 5 or 10.
That's more than enough.
Yeah.
But you had 18 to 20 people done. Yeah. I was like, well, we know they're going to arrive at some point. It takes this fucking spark out of it. Having said that, like I say, I still thought it was a good, solid Rumble. So Ronda Rousey comes out at 28, I think it was, so it's pretty obvious at that point. Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, that was the pop of the night for me.
Yeah, and she did get a big pop, and I'm glad she's back, because we've been wanting her back for a while. It was down to her and Charlotte.
Yeah.
So that became even more obvious. I would have preferred her to be going against LBRY at the end, the last 2, because then there would have been that little seed of doubt of maybe LBRY will be a 2-time one. There's no reason she couldn't. Yeah. And there's a lot of people pushing for her to go and win again. With Charlotte being the last one there, it's like, well, it's pretty obvious what it's going to be.
Yeah, it made sense for the story. I thought the elimination was weak.
Yeah, I think the elimination was a little bit...
Same with the end of the men's as well. There was no, back and forth. It was just, oh, here we go, it's done. But the thing with Charlotte is, my brother had a really bad thing of, as soon as Charlotte was out, she just stood there. I was like, yes, but I'd understand if Ronda chucked her over the ropes, but she landed on her feet. She wasn't exactly going to suddenly fall down. So, and like I say, I understand why it was Charlotte, because of their history, and it was that whole, are we really going to have Charlotte as champion win and get to choose her own opponent, especially with all the beef she's had recently?
Yeah. It's
like, no, it just didn't make sense. I know Sarah Logan coming back was special for Liv.
Sarah, that was nice. They had a little moment together there, which was nice.
Yeah,
I was surprised that Sarah Logan came back, because she was let go in the pandemic, weren't she?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, she asked for a release.
She was looking pretty... No, I think she was let go.
Oh, she was let go.
She was looking pretty awesome, though, because she's not long had a bambino.
But I was surprised with Mickie James as well.
Yeah, she got more offense, and I think she got 2 eliminations as well. But I honestly thought when she arrived that they were going, I know what they're going to do here. They're going to make her fucking cannon fodder and just chuck her over straight away and go, fuck you, Impact. But they actually gave her a reasonable amount to do.
Well, what surprised me, because it was one of those... Not only was I surprised with the fact that she agreed, because they treated her like crap.
They did treat her like crap. Disgusting.
The whole thing of, not only... Even with the graphic, they referenced that she's the Impact Knockout Champion. So,
came out with the title as well?
Yeah, so they're not going... They didn't say anything like, oh, just bring the belt out and stuff. And her Impact... music, because I genuinely thought she'd come out with a generic WWE music, but no, you're an Impact girl, 3 in the Impact thing. The bit I liked the most, which I'm surprised I'm even saying this, was because it was sometimes hard to pick up the music straight away when we were watching it.
Yeah.
So I saw the Ivory thing come up first. I was like, Ivory again. The right to censor again.
Oh, it's so great.
I was like,
but I love the
brilliant.
fact that the whole time that she was talking, saying these lost girls and everything, then Rhea picks her up and chucks her over. She never even stops talking. No. She just keeps going and keeps talking, and even when she's thrown out, it's brilliant.
I could just almost see through, almost a smirk. And I just thought, you're enjoying every bit of this. Why not?
And this is why I said that I think this was a decent Rumble and better than the men's.
Because it was fun.
At least we had these fun moments and these little interactions from certain characters or certain bits that either pay off or continue a storyline. And when we get to the men's Rumble, none of that really happened at all, which we'll kind of get to.
So yeah, it was fun for the right reasons.
It was fun. But as far as the winner concerned as well, a few people complained, but in all honesty, I think it makes perfect sense. I'm happy for her to be back. It makes sense for her to win the Rumble. It's not like she
hasn't buried anyone.
She hasn't buried. She's not Omni Rousey, is she? She's just. It makes. She hasn't been on the roster long. She's only on the roster for an entire year, so it's not like she's been on there for 20 years and she doesn't deserve the win. It makes sense for her to win. I don't mind it. I'm happy with it, and there is still them debating on whether it is going to be Charlotte or Becky. Yeah. A lot more pushing towards Charlotte, apparently.
Oh, really?
The plan.
No,
however, they haven't cancelled out Becky yet either. I like that, because I generally look at it and think, I don't think they've made their full decision yet, and it's good because that keeps us on our toes and deciding what she goes for.
To me, the best... Because this is...
it's Becky. Like, it should be Becky.
The decision for Ronda to win anyway, because if Ronda hadn't have turned up, looking at the women that were in there, like, who is genuinely, like, got not only worthy, but got the momentum behind them right now to go for it, for the likes of Charlotte and Becky, because they are pretty much squashy.
Belair's a contender for...
Belair's the only one. So, Ronda winning, it's like, if for those of like, oh, she's come back, and it's like, look, for once she's gone 3 years. It doesn't seem like 3 years, but that's crazy.
Is that really how long it's been?
3 years.
Jesus.
Last time she wrestled WrestleMania 35. It's insane, it really is. But you think of WrestleMania, of course Ronda's a headline act.
100%.
So
that brings money.
Yes.
And I'm not stupid to think that that's not the case. It's like Ronda will bring casual viewers in, and that will get you big money. And it's not like a case of, she's not like a Goldberg where you think, oh God, it's going to be so boring. She can go.
Oh yeah.
And she was one of the most consistently people to get from okay to solid wrestling in a space of a year. She did incredible jobs. I mean, she really worked her ass off. She's not like she's a spot man.
It's almost accidental long-term booking, because the fact that Charlotte and Becky were her last opponents and they're both champs, she's like, I'm back and I'm getting revenge on one of you.
Yeah.
I just don't know which one yet. To the point, I even thought the other day, like, they brought up the whole botched pin, that thing that happened at WrestleMania 35. I thought, it might be too... I might be looking too much into it. But it's like, if they found leaked audio from years ago of Becky bribing the ref of like, what happens as soon as I get her shoulders to the mat, you count that 3. If Ronda finds out audio, because that's what Becky's bragging at the minute, the only one who's pinned yet. Find that audio, and Becky's just, because it will work now that she's the heel. Ronda's anger at that, and Becky's like, oh fuck, okay,
I'll be alright with that.
But I think Becky would make more sense, because that was the match people wanted originally in the first place, and the rumour of Charlotte Lita. I'd be more over that.
But we're getting Lita Becky at the Chamber.
Yeah, so I think
I don't mind Lita going against Charlotte straight after.
I think they've already the Charlotte Lita thing rivalry was established a couple of SmackDowns before the Rumble. I think Charlotte eliminated Lita, so there's no reason why they can't continue some promo stuff on SmackDown, trash talk, and maybe Charlotte costs Lita the championship at the Chamber, which leads into their WrestleMania. We'll talk more about the Chamber in a minute.
But so I think it was a good Women's Rumble, and the right person won.
It was fun. It just, at the standard of, like, as far as if I was rating it as a good match, maybe. That's the way I see it. Next was Becky Lynch versus Doudrop.
Or Piper Niven, as we should be calling her.
Yeah.
I don't like the name Doudrop.
No, I don't.
But they built it okay. Like, it's not been too bad of a build. It's been all right. But that's mainly down to because, it was Doudrop's pretty awesome. Like, she's a pretty cool person anyway, and Becky's just good at building storylines. The match itself was good.
Yeah, it was in the bad spot.
The thing, it was in a bad spot straight after Rumble, so you're a little bit deflated. And unfortunately, they had a fire with the WrestleMania sign, so they had to evacuate people, bring that down. Everyone's distracted doing that, which is really annoying. So obviously that took the wind out of the sails. So although the match was good and there was solid wrestling throughout, it didn't hit the kind of full gear that you kind of wanted it to. I did also find out as well that WWE, they took the sign down, cleaned it up, took it back up, let everybody sit in their seats. But at the end of the Men's Rumble, just before the Men's Rumble was about to start, they were told, at the end of the Men's Rumble, you're going to have to clear out
In case it happened again.
In case it happened again. I was like, I'm sorry, but just don't have the fireworks go off. I know it's a little bit annoying for you, but you've just ruined a massive, 100 people's experience of that final moment, regardless of what the match ended up being.
Yeah.
Just so you can have pyro go off when someone points to it. It's like, come on. You can just let it go without.
Surely you have pyro somewhere else.
Yeah,
you could do or something. But
you could have put the fucking sign on the Titantron.
I understand in a way, but I get both sides of it. But I agree with you. Like, you don't need to. But it was more like, okay, we think we fixed it. We could just go with the sign and see what happens. But that's a big risk. Because if it went tits up and you didn't
just not done the pyro.
Yeah, So,
but yeah, the Becky Doudrop match. It was fun. It was all right.
Nothing wrong in the match happened.
No, exactly. I like the finish. I think the middle rope manhandle slam to finish her off.
Yeah,
good.
It was a lot more back and forth than I thought, or more resilient from Doudrop.
It's reasonably well paced.
And Becky was trying to sell that, but like I say, because of the fucking around with the sign, and you kind of exhausted a little bit from the Women's Rumble and where it was, it just seemed... I felt the lack of investment from the crowd, and it fed through the television.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame, and especially with the card they had, it was almost like, right, again, if you had to pick one, this was the piss break match. Not that, because when you looked at the rest of the card...
The way that they positioned the card... I thought the mixed tag was going to be the piss break match because it was the one just before the main event.
With that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But honestly, I thought where they placed it, I was like, this is going to be the piss break match.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually ended up being better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was fun, but it was unfortunately distracted from other things. And
that was the other thing. I don't think anyone ever thought Doudrop's got this.
No. She's not had time yet. She hasn't been on the roster long enough.
Again, even the way she got her contender spot was kind of like, oh, awesome, why not give her a shot? But again, where was the momentum? You needed a longer build-up for that.
I think so.
It is what it is. So yeah, Becky's still the Roman show.
At least she won without dirty tactics this time, though.
That's true.
She's been cheating to win a lot, and she just straight up beat her.
Yeah, that's true. I never noticed. So
good.
Next, again, a surprise, but then it figures into what happens, is the WWE Championship.
Yes, Lesnar versus Lashley. Now,
I enjoyed this.
I thought it was
because it was what I expected.
It wasn't.
It to be.
I wouldn't say it was like the Goldberg Lesnar Mania thing. No. I don't think it was that good, but I still think it was pretty reasonable. It was all right paced. I think they had plenty of spots in there that UFOs things. I think the smartness of Lesnar moving out of the way when Lashley went through the barrier, I thought that was quite clever, and that harks back to day one. That was clever.
It's like they didn't bring it all to the table because they knew there's probably another fight down the line where they will properly collide. This was more like the whole match was sizing up what each other could do.
Yeah. I liked Heyman doing Ladies and Gentlemen again because that was so
great,
long.
Yeah.
That was so long. But yeah, I mean, I think most of us went for Brock apart from, I think your brother.
I went last year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Because of the rumoured story.
But this is the thing. I'm not even joking. I was so close to picking Lashley and then picking Brock as the winner.
Mm.
But I don't know what it was. My brain went, I don't see Brock losing this early after a title win. It makes no sense. Again, I think, to my detriment, I unfortunately, one of the very rare times I do it, I went with my heart on certain predictions, and I fucking shouldn't have.
I can't remember. To be honest, when I look back at the results, I was surprised I picked Lashley. But I must have thought, with the discussions and rumours of like what was happening, it's like, yeah, Roman, especially with the Roman coming out first, even though they didn't know at the time, Roman coming out first and everything, it's like, yeah, the storyline between Roman and Brock definitely isn't over. There's definitely going to be a payoff at WrestleMania. So, yeah, if Roman's going to screw Brock any night, it will be tonight. And my theory was like, again, without spoiling too much, of like, Brock will then go into facing Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship just because. You'll understand why I'm saying just because later on. But, yeah, so, because I went with AJ for the Rumble. So, even though I went with Lashley winning the championship, I just thought, and then AJ for the Rumble. I stuck with my first choice.
Yeah.
As soon as he came out as number one, I was like, no. It's very doubtful that they do two number one entrants win 2 Rumbles in a row. Because Edge won it at number 1 last year.
Yeah.
So as soon as he came out, I was like, wow, fuck.
But yeah, the match was good. It was solid. Plenty of spots, plenty of nice finishes. All the stuff you expect from Lesnar and Lashley. I really quite liked it. I even liked the promo package build-up. It's basically saying, look, these guys have had very similar paths, but they've never been able to cross over and meet. And finally, we're getting that match. Finally, Lashley got what he wanted. He finally got the one bugaboo he said that he wanted when he came back to WWE. I want Lesnar. And finally, he got what he wanted.
I think he got Brock. I don't think he's yet got the match he wants with Brock.
I think that, like I say, I think there will be another one.
Yeah, because it really did feel like a big fight field. Not only just seeing the two, let's face it, massive guys in the ring, but the fact that you got Heyman MVP there, it's almost like the Don Kings of the managers in the boxing ring of like,
it really did.
Let's see what our monsters can do. So as far as that match went, it was definitely Brock selling over what Lashley could do. Of like, Brock Lesnar.
They were kind of feeling each other out at the start as well. They were doing a couple of German suplexes and stuff, and they were just kind of shaking it off and going, "Let's see what we."
That was one of my favourite part of the match.
Yeah.
When the first German suplex happened and Lashley got straight up, Brock's like, all right, and then Lashley did. I think that's the first time I've seen anyone do a German to Brock,
and
Brock was just kind
clean
of like,
as hell.
All right, we're going to go this way, aren't we? So, but yeah, as soon as the Suplex City stuff started happening, I was like, okay, I'm going to go the way it always goes. And for some reason, Lashley seemed to be landing on his shoulder, and I was like, right, you're either fucking that up and you're really going to hurt yourself in a minute, or if you hurt your right shoulder and you're trying to overcompensate for what's happened here. It just seemed like he wasn't selling them right.
Yeah.
And then, suddenly the ref gets knocked down.
Yeah, so as soon as the ref gets knocked down,
it
was an F5.
Whether he got twatted in the
pushed
corner.
in the corner, and then he went for an F5, and then
hit the ref.
Lashley's legs caught him and knocked him out. I was like, right, here we go.
Oh, he got the hurt lock, didn't he? That was
he got in the hurt lock, because and he was struggling. And so Reigns did come out, speared Lesnar, and I thought like he'd do that a few times and that'd be it. But the way they went, oh god, I didn't see it coming. I generally didn't see it coming because I don't know what it was. I just forgot for a moment.
I didn't forget, but I just didn't. I didn't expect it, and the way they did it with small details just was kind of like, oh fuck, right.
Yeah, so he spears the hell out of him, and then he's standing in the corner, and Lashley's obviously down as well. And then he just looks at Heyman, and Heyman's holding the title, and he looks
terrified.
He looked terrified, perplexed, as like. And then he just put his hand out, and to be honest, Heyman did look like he hesitated slightly, and then he went, "No, this is the right thing to do." And he gave the title to Reigns. Reigns clobbered it with Lesnar, and Lesnar got pinned by Lashley. Lashley is your new WWE champion.
I'm fine with that as well.
Oh yeah,
because
I'm all right with it. I generally am. Lost a point, but I'm all right with it.
I think we're in that kind of era now, which I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. Where as soon as someone's been the WWE champion, it's like, right, next time someone's WWE champion, I want someone brand new again. It's always nice to have a brand new guy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do well, let's have a 2-time WWE champion. I mean, fucking hell, the amount of times they're doing it with Roman and Seth and Cena, why not?
And it's also good to build Lashley up as well. It's like
he beat Brock Lesnar.
He beat Brock Lesnar. He's also a 2-time champion now, so he's at that point where it's like where he should always have been.
Yeah.
At the top.
Yeah, the way the match was, it was that whole a means to an end, let's feel each other out, and with as far as like non-kayfabe, the way the story's going to go, the match went the way it had to go. When it's a kind of like, okay, here's your story, there's no hidden agenda here, there's no Roman coming at the end of the match or someone interfering, it's building up to you two fighting for the championship, clean winner, this is the match where you tear each other apart. Because I think that's the match fans really want to see.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to go be a SummerSlam, I think, maybe next year.
So, what interested me with Heyman, because the way he was emotionally, it was the back of his head when he handed over the title. So it might not have been a whole, oh God, yeah, fuck it, kind of thing. I think it was more fear of, okay, and obviously I think he genuinely loves Lesnar as his advocate or whatever the way he is. But he loves Roman as his client. He's literally torn between these two guys. I think they are trying to sell the fact that Heyman doesn't know who the stronger of the two is. Realistically, it's always going to be Brock. That's why
in the real world,
it me. So it wouldn't surprise me on SmackDown if Heyman does come out with some confidence, but you can see in his eyes and maybe the way he talks, he might show some regret of like, oh my God, have I made the right choice here? What have I done?
Yeah.
To the point, like, because I said this, as soon as it happened, I was like, well, surely now Heyman and Brock can never be together again, which is a shame because the two peas in the pod. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, Heyman said he's getting sick of doing the Lesnar talking stuff because he's just like, it's fucking.
I agree, and it's one of those things of like, if they go, oh, we realise that, which is why we're doing the story of like Heyman just in this scenario didn't know what to do, but on any other day it's always Brock.
Yeah.
Or someone made the good point of like, yes, okay, they could have built the storyline to how you're going to have those two together again, but realistically, how much has Brock got left on the clock?
Yeah, that's true. He's probably got, what,
So,
3-4 years,
yeah,
maybe?
so it's like, he's not going to be with WWE forever, so at one point you have to cut the cord, no pun intended, to shine down. So, yeah, it happened. Brock Lesnar lost the WWE Championship. Heyman is now back with Roman Reigns. And we don't know much more. I know more about what happened with the WWE Championships at Raw, but nothing with Roman and Paul until Friday.
I'm very surprised that the Elimination Chamber that Brock is in it.
Yeah, so we was going to touch more on that after about what happened on Raw and stuff. So, yeah, that happened. And then was the mixed tag.
Yes, and again, I thought this was going to be the piss break match, but it actually ended up being quite fun. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't like a clinic or anything like that. But I came away going, that was what I expected.
It told a story.
It was meant to be fun. Those guys are the dastardly heels. These guys are Team Grit, and they're awesome. Yeah. They had a lot of fun with it. They played around with getting tagged in and out with Maurice not wanting to wrestle and stuff like that. They even had bits with Beth trying it on with Miz and all that kind of stuff. I just think
trying it on as in that way. It was just
like, fighting.
Yes, just wanted to
yeah, that was all really fun, and I liked the ending where they both do the glam slam together. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, it was just, that's all I can say. It was just a fun little kind of, I would say it's a nice fun palate cleanser just before the main event.
Yeah, it went exactly the way I think everybody expected it to go and wanted it to go as far as what went down in the match. The only two quarrels I have is you had Edge do his Brood thing at day one and not the Rumble. I would have had him do the Metalingus thing at day one and both him and Beth do the Brood thing.
Because Beth looked,
I just had that image.
So awesome she looks.
Of the fear that would have been on the faces of both Miz and Maurice. Yeah. They came up with the full-on, obviously, the A-lister confidence. If the lights had gone red again and then that ring of fire where, like, Edge is standing over with Beth, like, crouching down, like, holy fuck, shit's going down. No Brood thing in sight. And I just thought Miz and Maurice probably should have got the victory because of, it's obviously the end of the rivalry now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, and I don't want it to continue. But I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. But how did Miz or Maurice benefit from this?
No, I get that. But unfortunately, like Miz, Maurice, it doesn't really matter. She's not really a wrestler. But with Miz, he's perfected the art of losing, and then within about a month and a half, he's back to where he was before and still being awesome. He's perfected the art of losing all the time, and there's not many people that can do that.
Yeah, he's very. Yeah, it's almost the you can dilute him in a way. You can do whatever you want with him, but it's weird because the way I saw it is I think we discussed this in the last one. Like, yes, Miz isn't the younger talent, but Edge is there to put the full timers over.
Yeah, which is why I'm happy this is done because like Mania going forward, like this year Edge has to go against somebody at Mania that is newer, someone like an AJ Styles or Finn Balor or something like that. Something it can't because he's done Orton, he's done Miz, he's done Reigns and Bryan. That was good. I enjoyed that entire thing. That was good to be added in with him. But now he needs to do a one-on-one with a newer guy.
Yeah, I think. So just to jump forward to Raw again slightly, what they were kind of teasing with Seth and Kevin, wouldn't be surprised if it's Seth versus Kevin again at WrestleMania. But obviously, which is on one side fine, on one side kind of like you did it at 36. But again, we're getting Triple H. Where did that come from? We're getting Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the third time at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But as my brother said, it's like, yes, I understand again, but they're very different characters.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
are.
the same with Seth and
I don't
Kevin
mind
this
them doing this again as long as Reigns and Lesnar.
This is the first time the story's been right between the two.
But this needs to be the last time.
Yes, I agree.
This needs to be it.
So if it's Seth Kevin, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Edge AJ. And the fact that they feed in Edge these victories tells me AJ's probably the one going over.
Oh yeah, he needs to.
So
it doesn't damage Edge for losing.
But yeah, that's it. If Edge, I understand it's WrestleMania. Edge hasn't got long on the clock, and anyone getting a victory at WrestleMania is great. But Edge needs to not be selfish.
With this kind of match, though, it's about the match, not the winner.
Yes.
It's about, oh my god, we're seeing Edge versus AJ Styles.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It's almost because I will always feel robbed that, as good as the Boneyard match was, I'll always feel robbed that we didn't get AJ take it in the ring.
Yeah.
Which really just, I'm not going to get too much into it because it really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So, yeah, like I say, I think Miz and Maurice will bounce back from it. Edge and Beth, again, I don't know if Beth's got a plan for WrestleMania. Edge is obviously going to be the card of WrestleMania. It's more now like, where will Miz and Maurice go from here? Not as in the concern of
I think Maurice will go back into oblivion. So she's going to be baby mother again.
She might go home, or she might continue just to be in Miz's corner. Are they on Raw?
I can't remember.
I've got no problem with Miz potentially having a run as the United States champion.
Yeah.
Because that, again, I've got nothing against Damien or anything like that, but once again, the US titles kind of fell off the radar.
Same with Intercontinental, to be honest.
Yeah. Miz is that perfect character to bring those titles back up because the problem with the face champions with those belts are kind of like, yeah, I'm champion and I'll defend it when I can, or when I turn up, here it is. People like the Miz are always bragging about it like it's the best thing in the world and it's better.
Yeah,
and that's what they should be doing. The only person that really did a good job as US champion as a face was Cena with the Open Challenge.
He did do a really good job.
I did think about this the other day. If I had to say what the best United States champion of all time, I'd probably go with John.
He revitalised it.
He did. And he also had it back before he won the WWE Championship back in the early 2000s. And he was the most popular thing on SmackDown. He knows what to do.
Yeah. The mixed tag was fun.
Yeah,
that is all
and Beth won with flying colours almost.
Yes.
So main event, the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. This is where, unfortunately, this is going to hamper my my markings for this.
It just felt like
it was.
If you're not, once no real surprises happened, it was just like
so
get on with it.
Boring.
It
was so boring. Like there was like 20 minutes of nothing happening, and honestly, 20 guys. I think there's about 20 guys out of the 30 were all mid-carders, like lower mid-carders.
Yeah.
And this is proven that they just don't have as much star power. But then you've got all these mid-carders. You think, well, why didn't you put Balor and Cesaro in there? For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's Balor that came out and cared more than fucking Rick Boogs or whatever the
That's
Christ
it. People
is.
like...
It was just... Nothing happened. It was... And I know... the main rumour is, and I'm pretty sure this is probably true, they were constantly changing the what they wanted to do.
Apparently changed it about 20 times.
And this is not right. Like changing it so many times to a one-on-one match is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it with a Rumble match where everything has to be so precise and so many moments and spots have to happen through that hour.
Yeah.
It's such a detriment to it. And it honestly, that hampered it so much. The unfortunate thing that happened with Kofi, that obviously made it worse. Obviously, he was meant to not have his feet touch the ground. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, did WWE make the right call of them saying, oh, he's out? Yes, they did. Because it was inescapable.
Yeah.
He hit the ground with those feet, and you couldn't not see it.
I didn't...
And it was unfortunate. But again, that was another notch on the show that made it...
It was unfortunate, but it was one of those things we said, it's like, it was going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah,
true. And it was just one of those... So, no one's saying like, Kofi, you fucked him. It was just like...
Good.
Tonight was not the night.
Yeah, it was good.
Kind of
I was really good.
Because apparently a big spot was meant to happen between him and Big E. Whether it be a double team or one eliminating the other, I don't know.
But
I was surprised Dominic and Ray were not in the ring at the same time.
This is the thing. Another thing that annoyed me about this match, so many opportunities for either furthering of a story or paying off a certain thing, and none of it happened.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything with Riddle and Orton at all.
No.
They did nothing with Ray and Dominic. Obviously, there was teasing about them, one of them turning on the other.
Yeah.
Why did you not tease it here with one of them eliminating the other? They didn't really do anything with Priest and this gimmick that he's going on with this Jekyll and Hyde thing. They didn't tease that in any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
There was just so many opportunities here, and they didn't do anything. They literally just like, well, we know who the winner's going to be, so let's just get to that point and get it over with.
And that's what it felt like.
Yeah, let's just get it over with. And it's just like, come on, this is the Royal Rumble. This is the pay-per-view that most people are looking forward to, more than Mania sometimes, because it is your roadmap to Mania. It is the things like, right, who is the people that you are pushing? What are the storylines that we're going
the surprises,
for?
which
And
was
the
hardly
surprises.
any.
Again, there was Shane McMahon was a nice surprise.
Well, no, I'd heard about those two. I'd heard of Shane and Bad Bunny before I started.
I heard about the Bad Bunny one, and although I'd heard about it, I was still quite happy to see him because he could still go. The Canadian Destroyer was
good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Knoxville was fun.
Knoxville was fun. Again, he was fun, but considering he's the Jackass guy, not a lot happened.
No.
He had a few people, like he had a frog splash from Ford, and a couple of other things happened.
He had
and
the
then
shots from AJ.
Yeah, and I think he chucked out Sammy, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
And it was fine, so that was like the only storyline that was continued, but then Knoxville's not coming back, is he? So
no,
what does it matter? So,
it was almost
I expected him going through a table, I expected chair shots, and none of that happened. So in the end, it just ended up being a little bit too pointless.
It's weird, because I know he's a Jackass star, and I knew he knew what he was getting into, but it's almost like, the film's already done, so this isn't footage for the film.
Yeah, but he liked it.
Yeah, but also I know he got brain damage from recording Jackass Forever, so it's like, how much can we actually do? Because I think if
which begs the question, why bother?
But yeah, it was obviously like an advertisement thing. But if he hadn't have got the injury, I'm wondering if the original plan was, because it was like AJ did the shots, Montez did the splash, and off he went. Like, would it have originally been everybody was in the ring at the time, did a finish to him and then out?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it opened quite well, like with
AJ Nakamura.
AJ
Nakamura was like, okay, shades of their match.
Then you had Bobby Roode. Now I know he's kind of fell under the radar, but I think, if my memory serves, I think him and AJ kind of had a sort of stare down from their, like, they remember their TNA rivalry.
They were getting TNA.
I was like, okay, and I thought maybe not as a winner, and maybe not like a wowing everybody. But I thought, you want to really put Bobby on the map, either have him eliminate Ziggler when he comes in, because that tag team's pretty much dead in the water anyway, or have him be the Iron Man, because Bobby can go. But no, it was like you say, just a lot of like, oh, it's Otis, oh, it's Madcap Moss.
Yeah, it's this person,
who
it's that
gives a
person,
fuck?
and like no one cares. Like, the AJ thing with the Moss, I would say maybe there's a continuation of the story there.
I was just more relieved they got rid of Otis.
Yeah, because at some point I was like, he's going all the fucking way at this point. Because how do you get him out? So they all ganged up on him, and AJ hit the final blow with he running forearm, and he went over. He's like, bye bye. Fine.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just, it was so boring, and obviously after being this bored from it and seeing all these mid-carders, and when we're getting to the latter half of it, you're like, right, I think I know where this is going. It's like, to be honest, after Lesnar lost the title, I could see where this was going.
Yeah. But the crowd did as well.
And that's the thing, the crowd did as well. So you were dejected, you weren't invested, you saw it was like a means to an end.
Yeah.
And it wasn't meant to be enjoyed. That's the thing, they looked at it and said, this is a means to an end. And in my opinion, it doesn't make sense for someone like Lesnar to win, because you've already set up that championship thing with Reigns costing in the match. You didn't need to have him win the Rumble to get that match set up. You set the match up earlier in the night. This should be setting up the WWE Championship match now. Then
this is the point of, like, you didn't need him to win the Royal Rumble, because you've already established, like, if someone else had won the Royal Rumble and said, I'm challenging Lashley, you're like, okay, you could just obviously book the match, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And
what's your incentive? He cost him the title. There's your incentive.
Brock wants a title rematch. Lashley doesn't want to give him one. Well, I want one title. I hate Roman. I want revenge on Heyman. There you go.
Done.
Simple. And I'm a free agent. I can go to any show I want.
Absolutely.
So
I like that Drew came back. Because
I wasn't expecting that.
No, because he was injured, and we were told that he was injured. He was out for about a month and a half.
So him being the last two with
again, I liked that, and I thought maybe they will go with Drew again. I don't know, but then there's a very small chance. This time it's like, we know.
But again, that was like, okay, here we go. Oh, he's up for the F5 over the top rope.
Yeah, it was so quick.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, that's over. Okay, great.
I guess those guys under the sign didn't have to worry about it, because I bet as soon as Brock came out, I was like, well, we're moving anyway, we're moving to the exit.
Yeah, might as well keep going.
But you see all these like fan videos from the crowd, it's almost like the whole arena went,
here we go.
It was just like...
and he came in at number 30 as well. I was like, can you make this any more obvious of what's about to happen? Even the final four was not good enough for me. The final four was Lesnar, Drew, which was fine, Shane, and Bad Bunny. And apparently Shane was being a dick backstage.
I heard
this. Pushed saying, I want to be in the final four. I was like, why?
Apparently he wanted to book...
He was being an arsehole.
A lot of that match around him.
Yeah. And they tried to stop him from doing it. It's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, how many times can you say no to the boss's son?
Another legend was meant to be in it. I don't know who, but that one thing. But what bothers me is like, so you changed the script, rumoured 20 times in one night, and that's the best one you come up with?
That's it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like I said, you guys went to see it in Leicester, and we were meant to come, but we didn't for other reasons. And you know what? I'd have been pissed off if I had been up at 4 a.m. having that as my final match. I'd have been really annoyed.
I was going to mention the Loaded Dog a bit, just because I always mention Walkabout, and where we go. Cool venue, good service. Not their fault, but there was kind of a lack of atmosphere. I think it was one of the only places that weren't sold out, the whole thing. If you're listening, your bouncer's a cock. Yeah, so sort him out, because after that, not just because of the bouncer, but because of the atmosphere, we kind of went, we probably won't do Leicester again. If we did it for convenience, I will say it's closest. I think Birmingham's a better option. But also, there was a big screen, but it was more just little monitors just spread around the path. So, so as soon as Brock won it, again, it wasn't. They
went off air really quickly, as if to say,
"We know.
Oh, we know we fucked up here." It's like, well, why book it then?
Yeah.
So if you know, why do you book it? Why do you book yourself into a corner and fuck up and go, well, let's get out of Dodge quickly? It's like it's the same thing as when they eliminated Bryan early in 2016 or 15.
Yeah.
When it was, it's like, if we do it early, they'll get over it. It's like, why book yourself into oblivion? That's not going to happen. A lot of people are saying, is this Rumble worse than that 2015 one, the one where Reigns won and. No, I don't think so. I think the 15 Rumble is still the worst Rumble of all time.
And maybe again, I can't really remember that far back, but maybe the wrestling and the spots were better as far as match.
But as far as storytelling, detriment, 15 is the worst.
Yeah, Jesus,
100%, because they basically decided, no, you're not have to cheer him. You will like this person whether you like it or not. And trying to get Rock invested in it.
Yeah, that's it. When The Rock came out in 2015,
we know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. It was paper thin and transparent.
Even The Rock isn't going to save this.
You can see on his face, he's like...
But I will admit, if The Rock had came out to face up against Brock at the end of that, I'd be like, holy fuck!
But this match, it became painfully obvious what was going to go down.
What should have really happened is... if you should have had Brock Lashley open the show. And then Roman do what he did.
But the problem is with that is that then you'd be thinking, right, is Lesnar going to come out and cost Roman the match? And then if he doesn't, you're like, right, well, I know what he is doing then. So the result is the same. We know Brock's
you
going
could
into
have
the
done
Rumble.
a whole different thing of do the title match and then, I don't know, Raw Women's Championship match or something like that. Backstage segment of Brock losing his shit, looking for Reigns. To the point of right, you're arrested, you're going to prison, and Brock's left the arena. It's not here for the night. So there's some kind of shock factor when Brock does come out at number 30.
But you'd be shocked, but then...
But you'd still be...
you'd still be like...
But at least you've got that whole, fuck, he's back. And it would explain why he didn't interfere in the Roman Seth match. But with Ronda Rousey returning, the Women's Rumble should have headlined the show.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Because that was a big return. There was more stories being told. There was more fun to be had. There was also...
More returns.
Just more returns and cameos and all that kind of stuff. So it was the Rumble you expect. You know what I mean? With this, like I say, it was a means to an end, and they just wanted to get it out of the way, and it was boring as fuck.
Yeah, the fact we're having the Women's Rumble last would have at least sent the fans home happy.
100%.
But they just, I
don't know. Because again, it's a Vince thing again, isn't it? It's just, I like Lesnar, he's a big man, everybody likes Lesnar, we're going to have him do this, and this, and
it seems like a McMahon thing now, because Shane's stirring the pot. I'm like, Shane, who the hell do you think you are? Man, I get you're the Vince's son, but your story...
You're not even here.
That's
You're
it.
not even here.
You
don't even have the fucking rights to do this kind of shit. You're never here.
I'm pretty sure he's no longer in the running to take over the company because he's got his own thing going on.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't look like Triple H is going to either. No, why would you want to?
There was pictures of Nick Khan watching it from ringside, so it's like, alright, it's looking like he's literally going to take over. I thought Nick Khan was with AEW.
The problem is, if Nick Khan takes over, nothing's going to change.
No, I said this to a mate of like, let's hope he is just that. Oh, yes, boss. When the time comes, I'll do that, and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as Vince hits the ground, like, right, we're doing it my way. Which could have been better or worse. But if it's not Vince's way,
at this point,
I'm ready to give it a go.
Yeah, so at this point, it's like, if it ain't Vince's way, it's probably going to be
it's
a better option.
It's the right way, yeah. So, ratings.
Like I say, going through the night, I was actually looking at going, this is good stuff. I'm really enjoying this. I was pushing towards, I think, an 8. And then this Rumble happened, this main event happened, and I'm giving it a 6.
I'm giving it a 6.
I think it's dropped 2 points there. And normally with this kind of stuff, I try not to have one match ruin the rest of the pay-per-view. But this main event was so obvious, transparent, boring, and pointless overall that it really did damage the rest of the show. And unfortunately, guys, it's how you leave us. And you left us dejected and disappointed and bored. So I'm taking 2 points off, 6 out of 10.
That's it. There's a difference to leave us dejected and disappointed from a storyline point of view. Like when the whole Randy Orton cashing in on Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but it was fucking good TV.
Television. I'm like, I need to see what happens next week because how could they screw it?
But the end of this run was like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed from when Lesnar lost that title to when he won the Rumble. The result is the same.
Yeah, it's just. But again, I mean, I've got. In any other circumstance, I wouldn't mind Brock being a 2-time Royal Rumble winner because, of course, whenever Brock enters a Royal Rumble, of course he's going to be the favourite. But when the story is right, this was not right. No. So yeah, I'll give it a 6 because the women's was fun for the Rumble reasons. The match I don't really rate. The men's thing happened. Both championship matches were good as far as what they did in the ring and the storytelling. The mixed tag was good, and
Becky Doudrop was good.
They didn't do anything wrong, but it just fell off the radar. Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it a 6 as well. So I was going to touch a little bit on what happened at Raw. So yeah, Brock challenged Lashley for a rematch. Lashley and MVP said no. So now he's thrown into the chamber match
with a pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm surprised Riddle, Austin Theory's in there.
Austin Theory, Riddle, AJ, Seth, Brock, Lashley, which is cool. And there's rumours going around. Apparently, there's nothing solid with this yet. But apparently, one of the strongest rumours going around that before they decided to change the winner of the Rumble to Brock, the strongest person to go in to win the Rumble that they were pushing for was Riddle.
Interesting.
Which is very interesting. And that adds... Now, although there's nothing absolute conclusive proof yet, if it comes out from Ringside Seats or Dave Meltzer, then we know it's true. Yeah. But that hasn't happened yet. So we're still on the fence with it. However, it does add a little bit of extra flavour into this Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
But now that Riddle's in there. Because more, I'd be looking at it going, well, Lashley's retaining... or Brock's taking the title and it's going to be title versus title, which again is another rumour.
Yes, I have heard.
But now that Riddle's in the mix and that rumour is going on, what if they decide to do that? What if they decide to have Riddle versus Orton and it's for the title?
Potentially, I mean, what interested me with Riddle being in the Rumble when Lesnar was, is they don't like each other. So now to throw them in the chamber together, it's like, holy fuck, okay. So Lesnar says something like, he better be eliminated before I get in there, or something like that.
Well, they had a few
minutes
in the Rumble.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the rumours which me and Zach just kind of looked at each other, like my brother, by the way, just kind of like, it is a possibility. Is night 1 Lesnar Lashley, night 2 Lesnar Reigns.
I can't.
It's just like what. I get Brock's a draw, but Jesus Christ,
that's too much.
Yeah, it is too much.
It's too much.
So yeah. So, but yeah, the Chamber as well. I think we got Lita Becky.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is a really weird moral dilemma, guys, because we were saying last time that we're kind of at the point where we don't really want to talk about the Blood Money pay-per-views and stuff. However, this is stacking up as a reasonable show.
It's almost like,
I don't want to watch it, but I do want to watch it.
It's kind of changed the spectrum a little bit, because it has gone from used to be when you're really into it, it's like, oh, I've got to watch. I need to see what happens. This is more like, I need to know what they're going to do next, just because I don't get it.
Yeah,
I really want to know.
Please don't fuck this up.
What their thought process is, and see if I can get any kind of grasp and understanding around it.
They do have a habit. They do have a habit in the Saudi Arabia ones of swapping titles.
Yes,
and to more of a shock one than we thought it was going to be. So maybe Riddle might take it.
Maybe the reason they're giving the Jeddah the Elimination Chamber is like, you're not going to get as many championship changes, but you've got the Elimination Chamber. That's your sweet spot there. Yeah. And the sweet spot for the UK fans is Saturday, 5 PM.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so we can watch it and bitch about it at the pub afterwards. So yeah, that again, that's more convenience of why I'm going to watch it. But
yeah, I think I will watch it because I think the card's good. I don't like where it's
actually going.
Yeah, but I like the card so far.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of vocal of how I feel about the Chamber anyway. But if you want to make it a Saudi thing, whatever.
Fine, because maybe that kind of takes it out of the official canon.
Yeah,
because we don't really class the Saudis as canon.
It's just like it's like an exclusive
thing.
So.
Glorified house show.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's Rumble. Rumble 2022. A bitter aftertaste.
I think the plan is still, like we said, like we'll see how we feel about WWE after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and
then it will change our tournament and maybe our podcasts, because I'd rather be sitting here talking about MJF and CM Punk, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I keep watching those clips every week, and they're just nailing it.
Oh, under the Cody Sammy Guevara ladder match.
Good.
My God, Sammy's insane, man. But yeah, this is it. We want to talk about this stuff, but this is a WWE podcast. How dare we?
Well, we can change it soon.
Yeah,
if Mania ends up being a dud, then I think that's our entry point.
Yeah, so we'll see you at the Chamber.
Yes, which is how many weeks away?
3 weeks.
3 weeks away. 19th. So yeah, we'll think probably we'll do the Chamber. So yeah, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and we'll see you then.
And share.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.